Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive, rolls on from Ames, Iowa. This is the Big 12 on ESPN, and tonight, the only top 25 matchup in the country as the number 5 Kansas State Wildcats come calling on number 12 Iowa State. A look at the Big 12 standings shows that this is also a battle for the top spot in the best conference in basketball. Wildcats off to their best start in 61 years. The Cyclones' only 2 losses in league play, coming by a grand total of 4 points. And with that as the backdrop, we welcome you to a sold-out Hilton Coliseum. Alongside Chris Spatola, I'm Rich Hollenberg. The Cats and the Clones for first place in the Big 12. Not a lot of people thought they'd be saying those 2 teams would be in this position the last week in January.
No, they wouldn't. This is going to be fun, man. I mean, the thing about both these teams is they both have identities. They both know how they win. Kansas State, very athletic, can really get after you offensively. And Iowa State, really good on the defensive end. Really a tough, physical defensive team.
Let's talk first about the visiting Kansas State Wildcats. You can make the argument, Chris, that they are the story in college basketball.
They really are. I mean, it starts with how well coached they are. I mean, what a job Jerome Tang has done instilling that identity they have. And oh, by the way, in this game, they're going to have the 2 best players on the floor in Marquise Noel and Keontae Johnson. These guys do so much out there. Their production is off the charts. So that's the one advantage they're going to have. Those 2 guys going to have to get after it tonight.
When you look at what Noel and Johnson bring to the floor, they've been great all season, Chris, but in Big 12 play, they're as good as any 1-2 punch in the nation.
They are, and I think it starts with Noel. He's the catalyst. I think if you're developing a scouting report, a game plan, Keontae Johnson's going to do what he does. You have got to game plan for Marquise Noel and what you're going to do with him all over the floor.
Okay, on the other side of the ledger, Iowa State served notice early in the season that they will be a player in the Big 12, and they backed it up in Big 12 play.
Well, it started with getting 2 transfers from St. Bonaventure, Jaron Holmes and Oshunii, both guys playing their best basketball. And then how about Gabe Kalsher making shots? Gabe Kalsher making shots, surprise, surprise, has made Iowa State significantly better.
Kalsher, miserable shooting last year, and even to start the beginning of this season. But lately, he has been on fire. He has been the go-to offensive player for the Cyclones.
He has. I think he got out of his head, and I think he realized he is a basketball player. He's not just a scorer and a shooter. He's their best perimeter defender, and really, I think, the catalyst for their defense. A defense that is certainly one of the best nationally, and I think it's going to really have to be physical with Kansas State here today.
And they will have their hands full against the Kansas State team that loves to score the basketball, led by the aforementioned Marquise Noel. If that backdrop is not dramatic enough, this is the 236th meeting between the Iowa State Cyclones and the Kansas State Wildcats, one of the oldest rivalries in the Big 12. It dates back to 1909, and home court advantage has been critical in the Big 12 this year, but both of these teams won on their opposition's home floors 1 year ago. Your officials tonight, Keith Kimball, James Breeding, and Kelly Self. Coming in, Kansas State atop the Big 12 standings, but Iowa State just 1 game behind. The Cyclones in their home gold with the Cardinal trim. It's the road black unis for the Cats, and we are underway from Hilton Coliseum. And the visiting Wildcats control the opening tip.